So the German government has just sold $3 billion of Bitcoin in the past week alone. And guess who's bought it? BlackRock and Larry Fink. As you guys can see here from this Bloomberg article, Bitcoin dip buyers pour $438 million into the US ETFs in only 2 days. But there's even more to this story that I want to be exploring today. And we're going to be having a look at what potentially might happen to the Bitcoin market when Germany runs out of Bitcoin. And guess how much Bitcoin they have left right now? Well, they've just sold 80% of their Bitcoin. We can see here. This is a screenshot that I grabbed for you guys literally minutes ago before going live on this YouTube and Twitter. Welcome to the Twitter viewers. We can see the German government now only has $758 million worth of Bitcoin, and they started with over 3.6 billion. Okay, so today the German government actually emptied 8,800 Bitcoin out of their wallet again. It's about 15% of their total amount that they started with. And as we can see, 80% of their Bitcoin is now adios, it's gone. They don't have it anymore. And the Bitcoin price has honestly held up pretty well, considering we have $3 billion of sell pressure. So it looks pretty clear, unequivocally, the worst of the selling is behind us regarding Germany. Okay, again, we're not going to be talking about Mt. Gox today. I want to focus on Germany because I think what's happening today with the Bitcoin ETFs is really interesting. Okay, so we're going to get to the ETFs. So this is Charles Edwards this morning also showing that Germany just sent another $500 million clip of Bitcoin to the exchanges in one go this morning. They are panic selling their Bitcoin. They're doing the exact opposite of Michael Saylor did when he learned about Bitcoin, when he panic bought the Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at an article exploring why the German government is panic selling in a moment. But I want to show you this really interesting tweet by Carl B. Menger. He says here that the Bitcoin ETFs are scooping up almost exactly the same amount of Bitcoin that is being sold by Germany. We are witnessing a real-time intergenerational transfer of wealth between nations. What a time to be alive. You can see here, this is the amount of Bitcoin bought by the Bitcoin ETF since July 8, since Germany really started selling in size. We can see BlackRock scooped up 3,300 Bitcoin. Fidelity, 1,000 Bitcoin worth of inflows. Total, all of the Bitcoin ETFs have accumulated 5,000 Bitcoin in since July 8 alone. Well, hang on, that is only on Monday. Only on Monday, these ETFs scooped up 5,000 Bitcoin, okay? The German government, again, has been selling for about a week, and they started with 50,000 Bitcoin. So on average, they are selling somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin per day, okay? That's how much they sold today so far, as I showed you guys in this original tweet. They've dumped 8,853 coins today, okay? So this is massive. The ETFs have stepped up their buying. When we head on over here to heyapollo.com with the ETF tracker, we can see that the ETFs have been buying in big size, okay? I want to try to refresh this page and show you July 9th. So this was yesterday. The ETFs bought 3,750 Bitcoin, okay? Huge. And when we come down here to see the flows, we can see that we've seen an uptick over the past week. For the first time in a long time, we are seeing an increase in the amount of flows into these Bitcoin ETFs. So the ETFs are literally buying the dip while the German government sells Bitcoin, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about Germany, because I think talking about Germany is going to be really interesting here, okay? We can see very clearly here, I have an article that we definitely are going to be exploring regarding Germany, okay? Because a lot of people are saying, you know, why are Germany selling? You know, Germany has such a history of doing silly things before in its past. Why are they selling it today? It's really interesting. So we are going to be having a look at what is actually going on in Germany right now and why they are selling when they are selling. So this article here by CoinDesk says it's not Germany selling Bitcoin, it's one of its states, and it has no choice. So why does this German state not have any choice? Well, let's have a look. Okay, so the state confiscated almost 50,000 BTC in January, and it's been selling its holdings as per standard practice for assets seized during criminal investigations. Okay, that could be true, but ask yourself, America is still squatting on how many Bitcoin? 200,000 Bitcoin America has seized. They haven't sold it. I mean, maybe they have different rules in Germany, but again, they're under no reason why they have to sell it now. So for days, news outlets worldwide have reported on Germany's sale of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin and the ensuing distress in markets and major sell-offs in crypto prices. Okay, so we talked about Germany earlier in the week, so we're not going to completely rehash the whole story and the whole article here. What I did want to show you from this particular article is this image here, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Germany's government officials, I better not say that online, but this is a building in Germany, and we can see they have the big Bitcoin logo on it. So I thought that was pretty funny and definitely worth showing you guys. The German government is certainly being made aware that, you know, selling their Bitcoin is potentially a terrible idea. But let's talk about Germany a little bit deeper. A lot of people are saying, oh, Germany selling their Bitcoin. This is important because Germany is the 5th largest holder of Bitcoin around the world when we're looking at governments. Okay, so America and China both hold around 200,000 coins. And then we obviously have other countries like Germany and the Ukraine that hold around 40 and 50,000 Bitcoin. Some people are saying, oh, what do they know that we don't? Do they know something? The fact that the 4th largest economy in the world, Germany, is selling Bitcoin, that's a big major signal. Is Bitcoin over? Is the bull run over? A lot of people who might not be Bitcoin maximalists and might not fully understand what's going on here are kind of a little bit scared of what is going on with Germany. So I want to talk about Germany quickly, okay? Because I think it's interesting today in 2024 that Germany is selling their Bitcoin, okay? Because 100 years ago, I think Germany suffered one of their most tragic economic events, and that was obviously the hyperinflation of the German mark, okay? For those who may not be aware of what exactly happened to the German mark, well, I'm going to show you guys German Weimar hyperinflation. I'm going to show you the chart of what happened and just how destructive this was exactly 100 years ago, which again is very poetic. Again, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of, sure, some things could be a coincidence, but it's awfully poetic that this happened exactly 100 years ago. Germany's potentially biggest economic blunder happened in 1924 is the same happening today in 2024 when they are right now selling 50,000 Bitcoin for euros, for a currency that they can print themselves, okay? Or they could just get a free endless loan themselves. They're literally dumping the scarcest money in human history. You really got to ask yourself, what is going on in Germany? So that was the first big blunder that Germany has made, okay? Obviously, the hyperinflation was terrible. Their decisions in World War I in 1918 were terrible. The entire country's decisions in the 1930s was terrible. They elected Hitler. We don't need to get into details about what happened in the 1930s. It was terrible. It was a terrible decision, okay? World War II, also terrible decisions. They lost World War II. And now more recently, they shut down all of their nuclear power, all of their nuclear energy power, and they're suffering. They're suffering an industrial crisis in the country, okay? They're slipping down the world leaderboard in regards to the biggest economies in the world because they shut down nuclear power, okay? And they're going towards this woke, renewable energy, panacea that they think we can build, okay? They're relying upon unreliable energy sources. And now today, they're selling the hardest, the scarcest money the world has ever seen for money that can be printed out of thin air, okay? So again, Germany is not exactly, they haven't made the best decisions, okay? So a lot of people who are saying, oh, what does Germany know? Germany's a whale, why are they dumping? Well, Germany's not that smart, okay? No offense to my German friends. I met, a number of amazing German friends at BTC Prague, so I do love the Germans, don't get me wrong, but economically, you should not be following their decisions and saying that they have any sort of signal because they don't have any signal behind their decisions economically. Something that I do think has a lot of signal is this chart right here. This is an interesting one. This is again released this morning. And I just wanted to show you guys the massive increase in what this chart is measuring? This chart is measuring the accumulation of Bitcoin from accumulation addresses. So these are addresses who are like long-term holders. Okay, these guys aren't selling. These are the whales. These are the smart money. Okay, these guys get it. You can see a really big increase when Bitcoin was at like $16,000 and $20,000. These guys buy when Bitcoin's cheap. Okay, and they haven't really increased their buying since recently. Bitcoin's been chopping around sideways in the 60K range. We can see here, permanent holders, mostly custodial wallets with no outflows, accumulated 85,000 Bitcoin in the last 30 days. How much Bitcoin did Germany just sell? Nearly 50,000. So money is literally flowing from the dumb money, governments who can print money forever. They're selling their Bitcoin. And as many people say, they are themselves separating money from state. They are the state, and they are selling the only real money in the world today, Bitcoin. They are selling that. And where's it going? It's going to the smart money. It's going to the accumulation addresses. The guys who aren't selling Bitcoin, they're not trading Bitcoin, they get Bitcoin, they're buying it aggressively. Well, that's what this chart is showing. I thought it was an absolutely phenomenal chart that I definitely want to show you guys. So these wallets are neither ETFs, exchanges, nor miners. During the same period, 16K BTC flowed out of ETF holdings. Interesting. Are people taking custody of their ETF holdings? Potentially a little bit of that going on as well. But the signal here is that this wallet is excluding GBTC. It is excluding exchanges. This is accumulation addresses. I know a lot of people say we shouldn't be doing whale watching. Don't whale watch. It's difficult to get reliable data in whale watching. But I think this chart is interesting because it looks as if it's keeping a lot of the noise out of this chart. Okay. So again, I'm not an on-chain expert, but I thought that this chart was really interesting. 85,000 Bitcoin accumulated in the past month. A lot of people think it's over. A lot of people think Bitcoin is done. A lot of people think that Germany selling is a big top signal. Here's some more addresses showing how aggressively the German government is selling Bitcoin. Big 10 to $20 million clips being sent to exchanges. This is huge. This is the worst geopolitical move in a very, 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 very long time. I mean, Germany is going to really suffer from this. And, you know, this is potentially generational wealth. Okay. Now, again, a lot of people might be new watching this and thinking, that's interesting. Why is Germany selling so much Bitcoin? What's happening? There might be some people who are interested in Bitcoin. Okay. If you are new to Bitcoin and if you are looking for somewhere to maybe even potentially buy your Bitcoin, we are thrilled to be partnering up with a really, really, really cool new Bitcoin only application. Their name is Rhino. So again, massive shout out to our lead sponsor, Rhino Bitcoin. Rhino is a Bitcoin banking solution, and they actually combine traditional financial services with the power of Bitcoin. So what that means is Rhino offers a range of different services, just like a traditional financial firm. Okay, you can buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin, you can withdraw that Bitcoin to self-custody, and you can even use Rhino to pay people via the Lightning Network. Okay, so that's super cool. I'm a nomad, so I'm really interested in what they do with gift cards. You can purchase the gift cards with sats at the click of a button, and you can even connect to Casa for multi-signature security. Okay, so you can literally do everything with Rhino. It's new features are being rolled out as we speak. So if you want to use Rhino, you can visit rhinobitcoin.com to download Rhino today and experience the future of Bitcoin banking. So again, we have links in the description for Rhino Bitcoin. I would highly recommend you guys check them out. Really interesting little project. You can see on the website, I think they're the first Bitcoin company to pull off the color purple. I think their app looks phenomenal, really sleek, really slick, really nice UX, really simple UX. And I 100% recommend you guys check them out. So that's Rhino Bitcoin. Okay, so send a new and a loved one to Rhino Bitcoin. And as you can see, it's linked in the comments. And don't make the same mistake that Germany is making. So speaking of Germany, we have a ton of comments I want to talk about before we talk about why Germany's blunder of 2024 is so interesting. Okay, so DJ Gabut, I love that name, says bam bam is Germany. Monopoly transaction. So what am I right? I'm only giving an opinion for this to discuss. I don't fully understand that comment, DJ. So maybe you can try to leave it again. And I'll try my best to answer it. I think McLovin makes an absolutely phenomenal point. More cheap sats for us when they dump. No worries. Thank you. I mean, this is very interesting because a lot of people were annoyed, so to say, that they missed the Bitcoin boat only 4 months ago. Bitcoin ripped and it rallied from 25K to like 75K in a straight line last year, doing something that it's actually never done before. And that is see 8 straight green monthly candles in a row, okay? The last time Bitcoin did that, I believe, was in the 2013 Bitcoin bear market, okay? So it's due for a cool down. It's due for a correction. And a lot of people were looking at Bitcoin when it was at $70,000 and they were saying, I don't want to buy Bitcoin. It's gone up a lot. Well, here's your chance. As McLovin says, Bitcoin's a lot cheaper now. Take advantage of the dip. Buy the dip, okay? Bitcoin's at, I don't know what the price of Bitcoin is today because I don't watch it in the short term, and I don't think you guys should either. I think you should just buy, stack, chill, zoom out, and relax. Bitcoin is savings. We don't measure our savings on a day-to-day basis, okay? We measure our savings on a zoomed out time horizon, and anyone who's bought Bitcoin and held Bitcoin for more than 4 years hasn't lost money, okay? 4 years ago, it's 2024, so 4 years ago in 2020, Bitcoin was at $4,000, $5,000. Today, what is it? It's $50,000 plus. I think it's $58,000 today. So that means it's up by more than 11x, okay? That's how we should be measuring our savings, okay? So I think that's a little bit of signal to take away from Germany selling, okay? Yes, Germany's selling, but the ETFs are aggressively buying Bitcoin. And this is big because a lot of people said, oh, you know, these Bitcoin ETF holders, they're 80% retail. They're going to get shaken out. You know, these ETF holders, they aren't reliable. Well, guess what? They just bought $438 million worth of Bitcoin in the past 2 days when TradFi has been dunking on Bitcoin. TradFi has been scared about the Bitcoin dip. We can see pretty clearly, McLovin says it nicely, red candles are a buy signal for me. I agree. Red candles are a massive buy signal. And it looks very clearly. This is also a very cool chart I wanted to show you guys. US Bitcoin ETF investors buy the dip. Look at that. These are the biggest inflows that we've seen since the beginning of June. So this is over 6 weeks, nearly 7 weeks. We haven't seen inflows this big since the beginning of June. Massive inflows, okay? Somebody is buying. Somebody is buying the German government Bitcoin in size, and it's the ETFs. It's BlackRock. As we put on the thumbnail of today's video, BlackRock is buying Germany's Bitcoin. This is massive. And it looks as if Bitcoin is, again, nobody knows what's going to happen in the short term, but Bitcoin's holding strong, 57,000, 58,000. The low it hit was 53,000. So again, just the fact that Bitcoin has absorbed $3 billion of sell pressure over the past week, it's a really big signal. That's a very, very, very big signal, okay? So if you guys like Signal, and if you want to stay up to date with Signal, we do a free newsletter, so check that out. Bitcoin News Weekly. We're putting out weekly newsletters showing you why this was the second largest liquidation event in Bitcoin history. Most recently, we wrote that a couple of days ago. Since then, Bitcoin's rebounded pretty strongly. Okay, liquidations are typically a good sign that a bottom is. Not saying that the bottom is in, but typically liquidations are a pretty good signal. Something else that's a pretty good signal is Bitcoin always bottoms on the most fearful situations, okay? So the German government, the fourth largest country in the world, market dumping 50,000 Bitcoin in a week. It's a pretty big story, okay? Typically, Bitcoin bottoms on those stories, okay? Similar thing happened with FTX in 2022. The largest exchange in the crypto market with $30 billion of assets goes bankrupt. Bitcoin didn't really go any lower on that announcement. A lot of people were surprised, and that was the bottom, looking back in hindsight. So again, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows where Bitcoin's going, but these are the kind of events that typically mark bottoms. They scare everyone and they make everyone as fearful as possible. I'm just saying this could potentially be one of those times right now where in 5 years' time you zoom out and you say, hey, I got a great Bitcoin buy at $50,000 or $60,000. When Bitcoin's at $1 million, you're not going to care whether you bought it 50 or 60, okay? You're just going to care that you bought some before the rest. Okay, so with all that said, guys, we have 1,873 of you guys watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to end this live stream here and enjoy the rest of your day. Go out there